Welcome to Prince Maths Clinic, the e-learning solution at your pace and time.
What you want to do in this video is to find the sum and the product of the roots of each of the equations outlined on the board. To make it very clear, I am never interested or I am not interested in finding the roots of the equation in itself, but what I want to achieve is to find the sum and the product of the roots. You can remember in the previous lesson, we looked at the generic equation of the quadratic equation and we arrived at this particular equation. If we divide by the leading coefficient of A all through this equation, here is what we are going to have. Because A would have cancelled A in all the terms. Therefore, this is the equation that we'll be using to solve the set of questions that we have here. But before we go right into the solution in proper, kindly like this video and subscribe to this channel if you are yet to do so. Okay, let's move right into the solution. Looking at the first question, we were given x squared plus 6x minus 10 equal to 0. Let us compare and look at this is x squared, this is 6x, then look at it alpha plus beta, which represent the sum of the roots, while this represents the product of the roots. Therefore, we can say that the sum of the roots, which is alpha plus beta, is equal to, just say plus times minus, you will obtain minus, then alpha plus beta is the 6. That is the solution to the sum of the roots. Then the product of the roots, just say alpha beta. This is the product of the roots, alpha beta is negative 10. That is as simple as that. Let's move on to the second question. In this second question, let us compare x squared is x squared, but here we have a coefficient here. So just like we divided the leading coefficient in this particular generic equation, we are going to divide all through by the leading coefficient here. So if you do that, here will become x squared, here will become 4x, here will become plus 11 divided by 3, all equal to 0. So it now looks like this. So therefore, we can say that our alpha plus beta, remember, the sum of the roots is this. So just say minus times minus, which is positive. So this becomes 4. That's the sum of the roots. Then the product of the roots, alpha beta, which is this part, is just simply 11 over 3. So you can see how easy it is to obtain as long as you know this particular formula. Good. Let's look at the third question. You have the first, you don't have the second term that has x, but you have the last term. So let's look at it. But in the first term, you have a leading coefficient. So I'm going to divide through by 4. So this becomes x squared minus 2 equals to 0, so that it has a resemblance of the equation, because we want here to be unity. Unity means 1. We know that the sum of the roots is in the second term. Since we don't have the second term here, it means 0. Then the product of the roots, which is alpha plus alpha times beta, is just negative 2. That is the solution to this particular question. Let's look at the last question to reinforce all we have been learning. This last equation also has a leading coefficient. So let's divide through by this leading coefficient. Here become x squared minus 9 over 8x equals to 0. So it has a resemblance of our formula. Then the sum of the roots, which is alpha plus beta. Remember, that is this portion. this portion. So minus times minus return to plus. So you just say 9/8. Then alpha beta, which is the product. So we don't have any constant term here. So it means that that is 0. So with this, we've come to the end of today's lesson. In the next class, we shall be looking at how to obtain quadratic equation given the roots of the equation. Till then, bye for now.